Breaking news. Tennessee Titans fans, the very first official Week 1 depth chart has just been released, and this changes everything heading into Sunday's game. There are some surprising moves on both offense and defense that you'll want to know about. Stay locked in, because what we found could shake up expectations for this season. But before we break down this major update, make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any breaking NFL news. Alright, let's get straight into it. On the offensive side of the ball, here's what stands out. At wide receiver, Calvin Ridley is locked in as the starter, with Bryce Oliver right behind him. No surprises there. Tight end. Chig Okonkwo holds on to that TE1 spot, for now. Some believe Gunnar Helm could push him later this season, but at the moment, Chig remains the guy, with Helm and David Martin Robinson listed behind him. Left tackle is Dan Moore, backed up by Oli Udoh. At guard, Peter Skoronski starts on the left with Blake Hance behind him. And speaking of Hance, he's also listed as the backup at right guard behind Kevin Zeitler, pulling double duty. Lloyd Cushenberry is at center, but with Jackson Slater right behind him, don't be shocked if that battle heats up as the season goes on. On the right side, J.C. Lamb starts at tackle with Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon as the backup. At wide receiver, Tyler Lockett leads the way with Chimere Dike in the second slot. And here's where it gets interesting. At the other WR spot, Elio Manor is surprisingly listed as the starter, with Van Jefferson behind him. That's a bold move and one fans weren't expecting. Rounding out the offense, here's how it looks. At quarterback, Cam Ward leads the way with Brandon Allen set as his backup. In the backfield, Tony Pard takes the starting role at running back, with Julius Chestnut right behind him, followed by Kel Mulling. Now, here's the headline: Elio Manor is officially listed as a starter. That's the shocker. And honestly, it's a huge statement by this coaching staff. Nobody was certain he'd climb this fast, but apparently, Manor showed enough in camp and preseason to earn their trust. Think about it, Week 1, on the road, in Denver, against that secondary, that's not exactly easing him in. The Titans are saying loud and clear, we believe in this kid right now. For fans, that's not just exciting for Sunday. It signals something bigger. The staff sees Manor as a long-term piece, maybe even the clear number 2 option behind Calvin Ridley sooner than anyone expected. I've said it before, they drafted him for this kind of impact, and it looks like the plan is unfolding quicker than imagined. Bottom line, Elio Manor isn't just dressing for Week 1. He's starting, and that speaks volumes about how highly this team views his future. Now let's talk about the depth chart details that raise some serious questions. First off, the backup center spot. Right now, it's listed as Jackson Slater, but honestly, I don't see that lasting long. Why? Because Slater barely got any real reps at center during the preseason. Most of his work came at guard, and asking a rookie with almost no game experience at center to be the immediate insurance policy for Lloyd Cushenberry feels like a gamble. If Cushenberry were to miss time, do you really want to throw Slater in there cold? That's risky. The smarter move, and the one I think we'll eventually see, is elevating Corey Levin into that role. He's the more natural fit to back up Cushenberry at center, while Slater can shift into being a depth option at guard. It just makes too much sense for them not to adjust. And then there's the running back situation. No major surprises here, but it's worth pointing out. Tony Pard leads the group, Julius Chestnut is right behind him, and rookie Kel Mulling slides in at the third spot. Some fans may have wondered if Mulling could leapfrog Chestnut right away, but the coaches clearly trust the veteran depth. If Pard needs a breather or comes off for any reason, Chestnut is the next man up, especially with Spears stuck on IR. So, while the starting lineup looks mostly locked in, the depth chart tells a story of its own, and it's one the Titans will likely keep tweaking as the season unfolds. Tony Pard will be the workhorse in this backfield, but keep an eye on Kel Mulling. The rookie could see some real opportunities in Week 1, and if he makes the most of them, it could be the start of something big for him. Now, let's flip it over to the defensive side, and there are some intriguing storylines here. At defensive end, Sebastian Joseph Day gets the starting nod with James Lynch behind him. Depth at this spot feels thin, and that's something to watch as the season progresses. In the middle, T'Vondre Sweat returns as the starting nose tackle after missing time, with Shy Tuttle backing him up. That pickup of Tuttle adds some much-needed stability inside. Jeffrey Simmons anchors the defensive tackle position, with C.J. Ravenel in reserve. No surprises there, Simmons remains the centerpiece of this defensive front. On the edge, Arden Key takes the starting outside linebacker role, backed up by Fiem Olio and Jalen Harrell. Inside linebacker, though, is where things get really interesting. Cedric Gray is not only listed as the starter, but he's switched to jersey number 33. For a young player to secure that spot heading into Week 1 is a big statement. James Williams slots in behind him. Next to Gray, Cody Barton is currently penciled in as the other starter, with Dorian Musey as his backup. That may not be permanent. Tennessee just picked up another linebacker, and it wouldn't be surprising to see some adjustments soon. On the opposite edge, Draymond Jones starts with Jihad Ward backing him up, adding more strength to a loaded pass rush group. And at corner, Jarvis Brownlee gets the starting job, followed by Jalen Amar Davis, with Marcus Harris rounding out the depth chart. This defense has some proven anchors, but also a few untested names being thrown right into the fire. Shifting to the secondary, the nickel spot belongs to Roger McCreary, with Samuel Wack, a recent waiver pickup, slotted in behind him. At safety, Amani Hooker is locked in as the starter, and veteran Quandre Diggs provides strong depth as his backup. Mike Brown is listed third, and while he may not see much time on defense, he's expected to play an important role on special teams. On the opposite side, Xavier Woods takes the starting safety job with Kevin Winston backing him up. And the good news? Winston looks on track to play this Sunday, which could give the Titans an extra boost in coverage. If he performs well, Tennessee may have more flexibility in how they rotate their defensive backs. At corner, L'Jarius Sneed is back in the lineup as a starter, with Darrell Baker right behind him. For anyone wondering if Sneed would be ready to go, the depth chart makes it clear, he's in. But the biggest storyline on defense might not be in the secondary at all. It's at inside linebacker. Cedric Gray, the rookie, has officially claimed a starting role. James Williams, who many believed had the upper hand, now sits as the backup. That tells you just how impressive Gray's preseason was. From training camp battles to live game reps, he did more than enough to earn the trust of the coaching staff. For Tennessee, this could prove to be one of the steals of the draft. Gray isn't just filling a spot, he's stepping into a major role from the very start. And while Williams still has value and should see the field, it's Gray's chance to show he can be a difference maker in the middle of this defense. Cedric Gray's rise is one of the biggest takeaways from this depth chart. His training camp and preseason were strong enough to push him straight into the starting lineup, and now he'll open the season with James Williams backing him up. For a rookie, that's a huge accomplishment, and it says a lot about how quickly he's earned the trust of his coaching staff. But then there's the outside linebacker situation. Arden Key and Draymond Jones are locked in as the starters, yet beyond them, the depth looks thin. Femi Oladejo is still very much a work in progress, and while Jihad Ward and Jalen Harrell bring some experience, they don't exactly provide the kind of depth that makes you feel secure. The Titans have some strong pieces on defense, no doubt, but when you look across the roster, depth remains a serious concern. Now, let's switch to special teams, where there's an unexpected twist. Joey Sly will handle kicking duties and Johnny Hecker is set at punter, as expected. But here's the surprise, Jameer Dyke has been named both the kickoff and punt returner. Just a couple of weeks ago, the special teams coach questioned whether Dyke was ready for that role, and now he's the guy. Alongside him, Bryce Oliver will rotate in on kickoff returns. So when the Titans field that opening kick on Sunday, expect to see Dyke and Oliver back deep. For a team still trying to find reliable playmakers on special teams, this decision could turn into a major storyline early in the season. When it comes to punt returns, Jameer Dyke will be the man fielding the ball. And let's be honest, that's a nerve-wracking thought for Week 1. A rookie, on the road, handling punts in a high-pressure environment. Every time the ball goes up, Titans fans will be holding their breath. But this is the reality of the NFL, young players have to step up, and this is Dyke's moment. He may not see a big role on offense right away, but special teams gives him the chance to make an immediate impact. If he can bring consistency and a spark to the return game, he could carve out a role for years to come. Tennessee once hoped Kyle Phillips would become that reliable returner, but injuries kept that from happening. Now, it's Dyke's opportunity to seize. So here's what really stands out from this first official depth chart: offense, Elio Manor earning a starting spot right out of the gate. Defense, Cedric Gray stepping in as a rookie starter. Special teams, Jameer Dyke trusted as the return man. One storyline in each phase of the game, all involving fresh faces. That tells you everything about where this team is headed. The Tennessee Titans are betting on new energy, young talent, and bold decisions. The season is officially here. Buckle up.